In its entire history, FIFA has banned 10 teams from playing in the World Cup, and while most have been for political reasons off the pitch, such as Russia most recently, who were banned from the World Cup in Qatar, there's one team who were banned for one of the most shocking things to have ever happened on a football pitch. Chile's ban from the 1994 World Cup has been labelled as one of the most shameful events in world football, and I genuinely feel it's a story that deserves to be told, which is why I've decided to dedicate my first video to talk about it. So, what happened? The story starts when Chile and Brazil played each other in the qualifier for the 1990 World Cup, and if you know anything about Brazil in the 90s, you'll know that they were very good. Still though, Chile held their own in the qualifying group and were actually tied on points with Brazil going into the final game. Essentially, whoever won this game would go to the World Cup. In the 49th minute, Brazil made it 1-0 with a goal from Correia, but then with just 20 minutes to go, things got very out of hand when the TV broadcast showed Chile's goalie Roberto Rojas down in the box, claiming he'd been hit by a flare thrown by a Brazil fan. He was bleeding and badly hurt, and so out of protest for the apparent violence, all of Chile's players stormed off the pitch. And remember that, because that's going to be very important why they eventually got banned. As soon as the game was abandoned, the Chileans argued that because their player had well been assaulted, they should get the win automatically and thus qualify for the World Cup. And most people around the world agreed with them. Everyone thought that Chile should be given automatic qualification and Brazil should be disqualified. And Brazil didn't really know what to do. Because the incident itself happened off camera, everyone had to assume that what Rojas said happened had happened, and things were not looking good for them. But everything was about to change for Brazil, when shortly after this photographer named Ricardo Alfieri rushed on air in front of millions. He claimed he had photos of the entire incident, which critically the TV broadcast didn't, which he said would reveal that the entire thing had been faked and that Rojas hadn't actually been hit. At first, everyone was confused, and understandably so. I mean, everyone's seen the footage and his injuries. He'd clearly been struck by something, right? Well, the photos were published in the papers the next morning, and they revealed exactly what Alfieri claimed, that the flare had landed over a meter away from Rojas, proving he was never actually hit. So, what actually happened? Well, straight away, FIFA brought Rojas in for questioning, where he revealed the shocking truth that he'd snuck a razor blade into his gloves before the game and used it to cut himself when he was on the floor. Yep, that is 100% true. And when the doctor ran over to see if he was okay, Rojas pretended he was hit by the flare in an attempt to get FIFA to disqualify Brazil. It was all planned from the start. Rojas didn't think his team had a chance, and in a desperate attempt to win, he stooped down to a level very few sportsmen ever have. And so just 10 days after the incident, FIFA immediately banned Rojas for life, and then also banned Chile from the next World Cup in 1994. Not for the razor blade incident itself, that was Rojas' fault, but because they'd all stormed off the pitch before the game had ended, which by FIFA's rules results in an instant ban.